Hello everyone and welcome to another buff breakdown featuring double summer servants and hey, double summer 2 servants as well in particular, so we're getting some love for the older servants finally, some long overdue love. And the first one is one of the worst SSRs in the entire game. You see it right there. We have a buff or skill buff for Maid altar. And we have a skill buff for Saber Fran as well. I believe Fran has also never seen any buffs of any kind, so this should be her first one as well, which is very interesting. Also deserved. She's kinda been lost to time as well, like many of her other peers. But yeah, let's tackle the simpler one first. Let's talk about Maid altar and see where we stand now. So this is buff to her third skill, so infamously previously on a 3-turn cooldown, she got 30% quick up for 1 time 3 turns. So again, she's meant to be like this sniper, so this was meant to be like, oh, you use it with her MP because it's only 1 quick guard, but man, was it terrible. Like, yeah, the cooldown was low, but man, it was not worth it for the effect. This was back in the day when low cooldown skills didn't really exist. I mean, even today, they're kinda rare-ish, but they are so much better than this, that's for sure. Like, you compare this to like Summer Benny's first skill and you just wanna cry yourself to sleep, honestly. So yeah, definitely long overdue for a buff. Let's see what they did. So now on the same 3-turn cooldown, the quick cup remains the same, so it's still 1 time 3 turns for 30%, but then we got 3 new lines. First of all, she now also gets MP damage for 1 time 3 turns, equaling to also 30%. She gets a 30% battery on use and then a 15-star bomb. I mean, it definitely looks better, and with the append 5, it's a 2-turn cooldown on first use, but I don't know. Is this just me, or is this still, like, not amazing? Like, the MP damage is 1 time as well. Again, they want to emphasize the sniper style because it's a reload skill. That's what they call it. Even the upgrade version is like, hi, reloaded. So it's like, yes, reloaded. Yeah, they really want to emphasize it on top of the regular reloaded, but like, I don't get it, bro. Battery is cool, I guess. It's boring, but it's alright. She didn't have any before. Stars help because, you know, she's still a rider, so her natural absorb is really good, so she should be getting those in her cards. Granted, you don't bring another rider in your team. I don't know, man. I feel like they should have knocked the cooldown to 2 turns as well. Is it just me? I don't know. I feel like 3 is still a bit harsh. Well, maybe because the battery, I guess, it can be 2, but it's 30. I feel like, because again, she's meant to be an MP spammer as a quick servant, right? She wasn't never really doing a good job at it. In fact, the next turn we're going to talk about spams way easier. Yeah, I don't know. Am I just being too harsh here? I don't know. I mean, the skill itself is not bad anymore, at least, but I wouldn't call it amazing either. So it's like, hey, for your, you know, once every 3 turns, depending on your cooldowns, you get to fire an MP that does decent damage, and then maybe do some crits on top. But besides that, well, she doesn't have much going. Like, she has this self-attack and the party quick, which is cool, but... And then this weird buff to her second skill. This is such a weird skill. I don't know, bro. I mean, it helps. The cooldown reduction helps with herself too, but like, it's so weird. Maybe there's some stuff here that I don't see. Could be, because this is such a finicky, weird servant. Very basic though, but weird. Also, her MP has obviously never been buffed either, so they really needed to add more damage, and they did. They added the MP damage down, but the MP itself has like nothing for bonus damage. It's basically a damaging MP with utility on top. That's about it. So there's no super effective, no power mods, no nothing. So to just do like raw quick damage like this, I don't know if she's still gonna cut it compared to some other options like Skahag, Lilith, Kama, you know, all these big single target quicks. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm being harsh here, but I think she does need more still. Is she still the worst SSR in the game, though? I'm not sure about that, but probably doesn't see a big bump either. Speaking of which, that is definitely reflected on our 5-star rider tier list this year. We had her not even like next to the lowest one besides her, a full tier between them, or half a tier, I guess. Yeah, she was in C tier. With this... C plus, or again, I'm not, maybe I'm being too harsh here. Feel free, absolutely call me out if I'm being way too harsh here. I would love to hear opinions on this. I personally don't really see it. I would like to see some numbers first and see how she performs on maybe like speed kills. Maybe that's what she could have going for her, but for consistent damage, I just don't see it. I think she's pretty weak still. So I'm just gonna do a small bump there and leave it at that. But yeah, do let me know in the comments if you have other ideas or think this buff is way better than I think it is. Now let's talk about Saber Fran. I think of the two, this is definitely the bigger buff. Let's go. So her first buff indeed, and it's a buff to her first skill. So previous in a 5-turn cooldown, you had to pay 10% MP gauge to even use it. So you couldn't even just press it on cooldown unless you had 10% gauge on top. Granted, you know, with the MP append being introduced for a long time now, that definitely kind of solved this issue, even if you don't bring any other batteries, which you probably would anyway. So that was kind of annoying anyway. But then she gets 80% MP gain for 3 turns. So that was kind of a little interesting tidbit about her, because when this skill is active, her gain is actually ridiculously good, to the point that she has 0 problems whatsoever spamming her MP. Even her deck supports it pretty well, having double quick and an arts card in there. So if you just hit any of these cards, especially if they crit, you will definitely just full gauge from that. But yeah, that's all it did. Kind of weird skill, I guess you can tell this is like still early shenanigans. But yeah, let's see what they did. So now on the same 5-turn cooldown, first of all, you don't have to pay 10% on use anymore. So you can just use it, whatever, assuming it's up on cooldown. So that was removed. She still gets the same 80% MP gain for 3 turns, but then we get a bunch of new lines. First of all, she now gets a 30% battery, so like, I feel like every buff nowadays has a 30% battery in there somewhere. But again, neither of these servants had any batteries, so sure, we'll take it, I guess. Then, 2 lines that combo with each other. She gets this on-attack buff for the next 3 turns flat, so whenever before damage, including her MP, she will apply this special crit damage defense down for 3 turns. This is not just a regular crit damage defense down, like some other servants can do that too. This is a special one, and the reason it's special is because, oh yeah, this is 10% more crit damage, by the way. Again, emphasize, this is damage. This is not like Khazra drop. She's still the only one who does both damage and gains. There's some others who do damage too. This is only damage. It's not going to affect the gains. But yeah, the reason they made it a special crit damage down is the other new line. She now gets 20% power mod against this specific crit damage defense down. It's not any crit damage defense down, it's specifically the one she applies herself. Now the number isn't high at 20%, but the fact that both have 3-turn uptime flat on a low cooldown, meaning it's like generally good uptime, and that she applies this with every single attack before damage, including the MP, this is a nice buff. Like, it actually makes sense now. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Having no extra cost to the skill now, and the uptime for all 3 effects is really good. And like, this is a 6 skill. Like, this skill is really strong. Like, if I compare this to the Maid Alter one, I think this skill easily clears. It's not even close. And again, I sound like a broken clock when I say this, but the only reason it's balanced is because it's on Saber Fran, who otherwise doesn't really have a ton of stuff going for her, I'm not gonna lie. And her MP obviously has never been buffed either, with a very reliable weird single target slash AoE stun on it. But this will definitely help, because again, no longer weird requirements for the skill, and she has her own specific power mod, and even a bit of crit ramp with this. Because again, you can stack, like, so you might think, oh, it's only 10% more crit damage, but again, keep in mind, this is on every attack, and it lasts for 3 turns. And the effect that gives you it lasts 3 turns, and the skills on a 5-turn cooldown, you will have these up all the time. In fact, on average, if she's your solo DPS, you'd probably be holding like 4 or 5 of these on your single target at any given point, meaning it's like around 50% permanent crit ramp up, assuming you can debuff them, which is not nothing at that point. And again, obviously it makes this work too, this 20% power mod. So it's a very easy one for her to activate, even if the numbers aren't high per se. So I do think this is a very solid buff, actually. If they ever give her like an MP buff someday, I think she could actually be really amazing among the 4-star sabers. But yeah, on the saber tier list this year, we had 5 and 4 stars combined in the same list. So usually a lot of servants here. She was also on C tier. So I don't know, maybe they're watching our videos or something. It's always fun to, you know, theorize about this. Although Summer Gareth is still rotting down below. I'll bump her to actually like B tier, I think. I think she's not bad now. That's a nice buff, actually. Would she still compare to the likes of, like, you know, like a free Iori, for instance, or like Saito? I don't know. Like, I feel like she's still pretty far behind because they have much better kits otherwise. But she's getting better now. That's great. Always like to see older servants be buffed. So yeah, hopefully she gets another juicy buff someday. And we might be looking at a really solid servant. So there you go. Interesting buffs. Very deserved buffs. Neither of them are now amazing, especially not Maid altered by opinion. Again, maybe I'm trashing her too much. I'm sorry. But yeah, good buffs still, good buffs. And I hope both of them actually get more buffs at some point in the future. But have they really ever double buffed summer servants? Because summer buffs are kind of rare to begin with, so I wouldn't have high hopes for it. So, but I'm still happy they gave them buffs anyway, okay? So it's great. Good stuff. So there you go, another buff breakdown. You can probably expect to see another OC3 upload either later today or tomorrow, because it's going to take a while to render that. I am streaming that today. Also, later today, hopefully, I'll be covering Summer Hobbitrot on JP, so expect to see a video of that too. Yay. Yeah, if you enjoyed this one, do be a solid and press the thumbs up button on it. It really helps out. And do subscribe not to miss out on future videos. Like I said, more content on the way. Shout out to my patrons on the screen right now for supporting the content. And otherwise, have a great rest of your day whenever it is you're watching this. And see you in the next video. Bye-bye.